Hello everyone, it's me Evan, and welcome back to the channel. So today, as you can see, we've got this big ol' ship. Her name is the Pandinus Imperitor. It's got an armament of 5 of these dual small railgun turrets, and then 4 little custom Gatling turrets for point defense. And then if you were running the mod TO's Combat Tweaks Plus, I think, then you'd be able to put nuclear and conventional missile launchers into these areas here. You just remove the doors, and then you can put these in. And the Combat Tweaks mod also messes with values on like some of the vanilla weapons. So railguns, for instance, got a huge damage bump, but their charge time got halved. The damage got doubled, but then also the amount of power they require got like doubled as well. So it's much more costly to field railguns, but they're definitely worth doing. Even on even the small ones, they're very good. But yeah, without it, it's still a pretty formidable ship for its PCU. But with that mod, these things really come into their own because they go in these tubes, and I think you can load 16 on this ship. So you'd have 8 back here in the rear battery, 8 up here in the forward battery, and it's conveyed to be ready to use all that. If you were to run the mod. I'll have the mod linked in the description as well, because it's kind of cool. This is our, I believe this is the starboard. Yeah, this is the starboard little airlock here. And there's one on each side, so you got a little survival kit, some cryopods, lots of locker storage. And then we go in here. Also, all the doors will close behind you, which is nice. And of course, the airlock on the other side here. And then let's see the crew quarters next. So this is the sort of bunk room. We got kitchen, amenities, and then the bunks. Little armory, bathroom, and then if we go through here, we're in the medical bay, which has a couple more bunks, and of course our medical station, some equipment, and a big box. So, yep, that's the sort of habitation area on the ship, and it's all vertically oriented too, so like that is the front of the ship up there. In fact, let's go to the front of the ship while we're here. So up here in the front, you can see we've got a gravity generator here. We do have direct access to the outdoors through these doors here. But it's not like, you'd still have to go through here to get into the rest of the ship. Access to our turret controllers for some of the more forward turrets. And then there's a ladder network that basically stretches up the rest of the way up the ship. You can see here. Up and up and up. Where was it? Oh yeah, no, that's right, this ladder just keeps going. Same ladder. All the way up to here, which is where, this is basically the front of the ship, as frontmost as you can go. Or I suppose you could squeeze yourself in here. But generally, this is as far forward as you can get. without just removing blocks, Alright, so that was forward maintenance. Let's go down to the command deck. So here on the command deck, we have CIC, armored box that is in the middle of the hull, so nothing can possibly get to you, theoretically. And then we actually have a mast access over here. And this cockpit is actually up in the sensor mast up there. So that's kind of cool. And when you're in the cockpit, you're sort of seeing out of like this barred window, which is kind of nice. In this little hallway, we've got a door here that goes to sort of behind the scenes maintenance. Obviously none of the space is filled in to save weight, but I still wanted to be able to access some of the components just in case, so that's why that door is there. Alright, let's go down to the reactor deck. If it will let me, there we go. Alright, we're down in the reactor deck. Here, you can see our reactors. Not a lot to see here. This does contain some of the ship's timer blocks and stuff for like operating the doors. Like this is the door thing. It's just watching all the doors and waiting for one to open, and then it flicks this timer block on. That waits a second and then closes all the doors. And then, what is this one doing? Oh yeah, okay, so this is actually kind of cool. So if I do this, all the lights shut off. Even though the grid technically still has power, it's just sort of like a low power mode, where all the lights basically just turn themselves off, which is nice. And now let's go all the way down to lower engineering. So, here we are in lower engineering. It's actually a pressurized space, which is kind of cool. We've got an assembler here, but unfortunately no assembler access, although you could, I suppose, do it through there. But, yeah, no access, but that's because it's part of the main conveyor line here. And then we've got a big refinery. And we can get out of there. A small refinery here for sort of backup. One of 2 oxygen tanks. I believe the other one is somewhere in the front of the ship. And then of course we have ladders going up again to, well, at least this far up, to help sort of get to, or at least to service what would be the missile tubes if the blocks were installed. Alright, so that's the ship so far. I'm gonna go back up to the bridge and can take it for a little spin. Alright, here we are at the bridge. Let's take her first little spin here. And see, we got 5 large hydrogen thrusters pushing this thing around. And you can also see, for a ship this size, this is not a very high weight. Or at least for a warship this size, I should say. So I'm sure some people don't put any heavy armor on their ships, but this thing is definitely a warship, and so it does actually have some heavy armoring, mostly around core components and underneath the turrets is most of where it is. The rest of it could probably be shot clean through in most places. But yeah, the engine sort of section at the very back that holds the hydrogen and the thrusters has a lot more heavy in it. But for the most part, this thing is pretty nimble for its size and its thruster count. And of course the rotors, or not the rotors, sorry, the gyroscopes are able to keep up with this thing pretty well. So that's always nice, because a lot of the times when you have so many subgrids, things kind of get all wonky, but not so in this case. I'm really happy with how this turned out. And also the paint job on this is killer, but that's not on me, that's on the good folks over there developing Falling Frontier, because, well, this thing is very obviously Falling Frontier inspired. It's basically as close as I could get to copying their cover ship. So, yep, that's the ship. That's the stuff. Gonna have a link to the ship, the background music, and of course the mod that I like to use. All that's going to be in the description of the video. I hope you guys all have a fantastic day, and well, it's been good working with you folks.